that. Then the other issue, Madam, is about medical camps. Remember that these flash floods, Right Honorable Speaker, carried away all pit latrines from the upstream down into, including your district. Madam Speaker, you are aware that you lost 2 people in your district on River CP around there. Now, but the worst bit is that the attendant diseases coming over later, especially the waterborne dysentery, cholera, and everything like that. We should call upon the Ministry of Health, working in conjunction with other ministries, to put medical camps ready for the oncoming disasters, especially the downstream districts of Butaleja, Bukedea, Namutumba, and others. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, could you inform this House when you last went there? And what have you done? And why are you here? Yes, I'm asking the Minister. Because, Honorable Speaker, this matter is very serious. Yesterday we were here and we are seeing everything on TV. It is the citizens pulling out vehicles from the floods, using ropes. Maybe they are provided by you, the Minister. Because what we are saying, we are providing ministers with the facilities to carry out work. And hence, you could explain, when were you there, who is there, to see that things are changing and work is done. Members might hide the facts. Your officials, police are not working. It is the citizens carrying out the work. You can bear witness, members from that area. So, just as a clarification, Honorable Minister, when were you there?
Honorable Minister, can you make those clarifications?
Madam, yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm sorry that I'm coming up with anguish, really, to speak on this matter, which should have been prevented. Madam Speaker, over 10 years ago in this very august House, the issues of Mount Elgon, Mount Rwenzori were tabled and discussed, and the threats to human existence in these 2 respective areas were very clear, and scientifically, a team from geologists from the ministries concerned, they did a comprehensive study on all this, and they gave recommendations on what should be done to avert future calamities. But it is effective of all this scientific data and information that has been provided, there are no remedial measures that were taken to avert these catastrophes. So for me, I find it very, very difficult at this point to see the firefighting, to see that we are only responding on how we can just rectify a messy situation which should have been avoided much earlier. I think, Madam Speaker, we need a very serious scrutiny. Parliament needs to go and investigate this matter deeply. It is not just a matter of just ministers responding on a mere crisis which has just happened, when there are these deep-rooted problems that can be scientifically rectified. And I saw the Prime Minister rightfully say that this degradation is the cause, and yet 15 years ago, we have been talking the same language on how to avert this catastrophe.
For members to go and investigate, we need an immediate action that can make people survive. Like the Prime Minister was there the other day. She distributed a number of things. She did some work. But what we are saying, you ministers who are responsible, say for roads, for what is asking, when were you there? The Prime Minister is here. And Truth be told, in my area, which is the ending point, nobody has been there in Bukedea, Madam Prime Minister. I also want you to go to Bukedea tomorrow.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Colleagues, I have noted the concerns of members, but allow me to tell you what we have so far done. As far as Mbale, because it's now the issue, what have we done? The Ministry of Works, through UNRWA, has mobilized all the resources, and they have gone to fix those roads that had been washed away by the floods. Those that are under UNRWA. We are also using the same ministry to make sure that they go and prevail over the districts to fix their roads, because some of the roads are feeder roads, and those feeder roads, the responsibility unit for them are the districts. Ministry of Water, I don't know whether he's here. Yes, the Ministry of Water, the other day when we had a meeting in Mbale, they are technical people. They have fixed back the water in Mbale City. The Ministry of Disaster, we have officers now stationed in Mbale distributing relief food and relief items. The Ministry of Health, because you are aware that when this problem came, it washed away even the latrines and toilets. So the Ministry of Health is on ground with the emergency team on ground. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is also on ground, colleagues, and the Ministry of Defense is also on ground. We are using the Army Brigade to make sure that we repair the drainage system at the industrial park. Colleagues, government is trying. We want you to appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, though you didn't respond of going to Bukedea.
Mama, you know how much I love you. And you know how much our colleagues love you. And you know how much we can support. Using all the means, I will definitely go to Bukedea and support you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Members, let's give government time and see, let's do our oversight role and see what is happening. We make follow-up, and but also finance want to hear from you. Is there money?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we recently passed the budget, and we are in our Q1. We provided for funding under contingency, and this money has not been utilized. Therefore, in the constraints prevailing, we shall try as much as possible to finance this situation in Mbale and other areas where disasters are happening. Thank you.
Are you saying that you've already given the ministries, all the others, money under Q1? Because what I'm aware, you gave them only 20 million for disaster. What is 20 billion going to do?
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Ministry for Disaster Preparedness was given 20 billion, and it is this money that we are trying to use to manage the situation. They gave us 20 billion.
Kinkizi?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I rise on a matter of public importance, Right Honorable Speaker, regarding the breakdown of the road leading to the main tourism area called the Impenetrable, where we get over 60% contribution to tourism.
Alex, stop disturbing the Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, it is not my usual practice to raise a matter which has failed to get a solution as your guidance, Madam Speaker. I contacted UNRWA and I have found out that they told me they don't have money to rectify the challenge because as I talk, a fleet of vehicles of tourists, Madam Speaker, are stuck on a place called Kakuleju, just from Mutogota, a few kilometers to Gindi Impenetrable National Park. And Madam Speaker, this is our cash cow. Tourism is a service sector that is giving us a lot of money. This is the one who told me that Minister of Finance did not give them money for maintenance. I said, let me now raise it on this matter. Madam Speaker, there is something also cropping from the Minister of Finance that we need to be clarified on this matter. This is the only institution mandated for appropriation. And Madam Speaker, I hear something to do with statutory review of our budget. Whose mandate is supposed to review the budget of this country? Is it the Minister of Finance? Do we have another giant in the Minister of Finance to review, to see Minister of Tourism, to get this money much as 2-1? Yes, 2-1. If we budgeted this money amounting to this, we projected. Now, if you decide as the Minister of Finance, say, no, we are giving this money because this is our predetermination. Is it right? I would need Madam Speaker to pray as follows. One, as a member of Parliament representing Kinshasa West, where I have Queen Elizabeth, where I have the only climbing lions in Africa, which is giving money to the government. The only gorillas leading to, we have about 18 families of habituated gorillas, which is fetching money to this country. But the road has broken down. Now the people are extorting money from tourists there who are stuck. When can this road be fixed, leading to Gindi Impenetrable and Queen Elizabeth? Two, the minister also needs to get clarification from the Minister of Finance now that he is here. What is this called statutory review of our budget? Because the president assented to the appropriation bill and is now an act of parliament who has the mandate to change the law, to give these people in the Minister of Finance. Madam Speaker, Minister of Finance should be tasked to explain how roads are going to be worked on, as we are expecting rains all over the country, and then there's no money for maintenance. How do they want us to do business as a country? Within this month of August and September, where we expect much rains and much business. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Minister of Works.
Let me just be sure. Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, I wish my colleague had drawn my attention to this before I came here. Then I would have tried to do adequate consultation so that I give a very informed position. But I just want this House to know, maybe to preempt my colleagues, there is a reality obtaining, and I'm happy the Prime Minister is here and the Minister of Finance. We are having a discussion with the Minister of Finance. What we did was we had given local companies framework contracts to maintain roads in the different regions of the country. But unfortunately, last financial year, we did the suppression of 40%. and that did not now allow us to pay those local contractors. Our hope was that the first quarter now there would be some adequate release so that we can pay the contractors and they start working on. The Minister of Finance has been a little slow in coming on in this particular matter. We are handling it with them, and I can confess that the truth is most of the roads are actually in a bad shape. They need a lot of repairs because the local contractors have kind of gone slow. But I wanted this house to know that we are discussing it under the chairpersonship of the Prime Minister, and we hope this will be resolved. But coming to this one particularly, Madam Speaker, we are going to look at this one and make it at least motorable so that the tourists can be able to access the park and be vacated from the park as we look for resources that will enable us to really do the maintenance of all the roads that are critical in the country. Clarification.
Kinkisi?
All right, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this indulgence. And I would want to implore the Minister of Works to be honest to Ugandans. And I'm happy the Prime Minister is here. And the intention of the front bench is to help the government to harmonize with the Parliament, which is the representative of the people, to see that business moves on well. Madam Speaker, I am a member of the Infrastructure Committee. When you start saying that we are going to work on it, just the other day you were telling us that you don't have any money. Instead of saying it now, here, if Honorable Jamin is here, I will be my witness. Even was up to say, Honorable Ministers, you betray us on the floor. You come here tell us you don't have any money, any maintenance. When you reach on the Parliament, you start giving value and become generic. I think at this point, Madam Speaker, we need clarification because they are saying they have not got any money from finance. Now that the Prime Minister is here, who pretends over this bench, we get to know what exactly is going to be done, whether the fuels will be placed away, or what we shall do today. Because as I talk to Madam Prime Minister, people are stuck. A fleet of vehicles, even the Minister of the ICT was informed this morning. Sure.
Honorable members, there is the other question where the honorable member is asking, legally, who is responsible for appropriation and review of the budgets? After the Appropriation Act is in place, does finance have powers to remove the money, to review the budget? Can I have a shadow minister then?
Right, Honorable Speaker, the power to appropriate, which is done by passing the Appropriation Act that is subsequently assented to by the President, is by this Parliament. And once Parliament has passed the Appropriation Act and the President has assented to it, it becomes law. And for anybody to revisit that law in any way whatsoever, he or she must come back to Parliament in the form of an amendment bill for Parliament to amend that act. Once there is no amendment passed, then the minister or the permanent secretary whatsoever has authority to revisit what Parliament has passed.
Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I agree with the legal interpretation of my learned friend, the member. However, I think we are mixing up two issues. There is the issue of cash flow. Once you have the appropriations bill and the act passed, then you have to determine how much money you have available. And the person who budgets then tells you out of the 5 trillion that is required in this period, I only have 1 trillion. The law is silent on who does that, so the person in budget then determines what he apportions the different committees. It's not an amendment to the act, it's just a cash flow management issue.
What Attorney General is saying is one, that you must accept. There is no money. Now, the little money that is there, they are doing the arrangement, financial engineering. That is what is being done. But the issue of appropriation is on Parliament. What we have appropriated to different ministries must be given to different ministries once cash is available. That is what they are saying. Yes.
President Speaker, I want to thank my land friend also, the Attorney General. However,
Honorable members, after being a teacher, he went for law. So he is a land friend.
I'm in argument with both of them, but there must be something the honorable member from Kinkizi is raising, and that's what we have to address ourselves into. If there's any cut or any change, let him inform us through right now, Speaker, what he's trying to say. Because that one we know, once we pass the budget, they are going to release quotas, but we are expecting to meet what was supposed to be given to that particular entity. And anything the honorable member was saying, the way he had, as if he has evidence to this parliament that their finance is changing what was appropriated. The moment that is done, then it becomes a regularity. So that's what I want to, right now, Speaker, to prove from the member. Otherwise, I want to thank my land friend.
Finance.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much.
I thought he is answering to what is.
You had allowed me, because you see, the trouble, once Parliament has passed the budget, and the lawyers can help me, when we are passing the budget, the Honorable Musasi indicated the sources of funding. Money we are going to borrow from domestic institutions, money that will come from outside, and money that we are going to correct as revenue. And they did, we passed the budget against that background. Madam Speaker, it will be bad manners on the side of Honorable Musasi and the ministry not to return to Parliament to say you passed this budget and these were the sources. This money cannot come from one or two of those sources. And then you revise. But the Attorney General, like the lawyers usually are, smartly saying it is cash flow. This is indiscipline. I am the one who authorized you to go and spend after you indicated the sources. If money is not coming, have the courtesy to return. Because even the budget laws are revised. You return and say the budget was 44 trillion. We are able to correct 27. Can we revise and then we have a budget revised? But you can't go there and sit and say because of cash flow, you are give you 1 trillion. Because of cash flow, that is indiscipline.
We are returning the budget under which law?
Of finance, when it comes to clarify here, also should synchronize his prior statement when he said that the issuance of money was based on the fiscal strategy. That one also, I want also to synchronize that fiscal management with the staggering infrastructure that we're talking about. If also that money was reduced to manage inflation, I need also to, because he mentioned it on the floor of the parliament, you can even retrieve the answer. So we need to know exactly, because we need to get clear answers other than this ping pong.
Finance.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I agree with Honorable Wilfred Nwagaba on the powers of Parliament in as far as appropriation is concerned. However, Right Honorable Speaker, we manage the cash flow. We appropriate, like this financial year, the Appropriation Act gives us a figure of 48.1 trillion. The cash projection on a quarterly basis, like this quarter, we have 14.5 trillion. However, the cash available is 10.2 trillion. This 10.2 trillion is what we are supposed to reason with and see how best government can keep moving. Madam Speaker, this is quarter one, and our budget is subdivided into 4 quarters. We are optimistic that as we go along, we shall achieve the objective of appropriation, and we shall achieve the objective of ensuring that all MDS get the necessary resources to keep moving. Lastly, the circumstances which Honorable Kaberuka raises and the road sector generally, we have realized an anomaly. And before this week ends, we are working around the clock to see that in the circumstances, we avail some resources to take care of the emergencies which are happening in the road sector, Madam Speaker.
Yes. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you did direct the Minister of Finance, having received the Attorney General's letter, stating very clearly that we cannot overrule the constitutional provision, which states clearly that all money is collected, fines, fees, as per the road fund, should be put under the road fund. We are here again talking about the road fund, Right Honorable Speaker. The road sector. This funding to the road sector will continue for as long as we do not resolve that issue. The road fund was created specifically to deal with these issues of maintenance of the road sector and safety. Right Honorable Speaker, the directive given in this House was that by 30th of June, the Minister of Finance should bring here regulations operationalizing the road fund. It is now 2nd August, Right Honorable Speaker. Those regulations, today is 3rd. Those regulations have not been brought, Right Honorable Speaker. So is it not procedure right, Right Honorable Speaker, to direct the Minister of Finance to bring these regulations as directed to this House so that we can have the road fund operationalized as is in the Constitution, but also as per the Road Fund Act? Is it not procedure right, Right Honorable Speaker?
Of course, the minister is obliged to respect the decisions of Parliament and the constitutional requirement. So, Minister, what happened?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, when this matter was presented to this House, you referred the matter to the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
Honorable Minister, there was a motion that was brought to this House, and it was chaired by my colleague and gave you directives. Maybe you need to go back and check.
Madam Speaker, all these decisions were amalgamated and sent to the Committee on Finance. I appeared before the Committee on Finance yesterday I gave my position, and the committee is in the process of reporting back to the House. I pray that.
And now, whom are you ordering? No, you just say you are giving information.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Matia Kasaija was in this house, seated there, and the instruction from the Speaker then was to get guidance from the Attorney General. The Attorney General wrote his letter, which was laid here on the floor. One of the ministers represent, I think the Honorable Matia himself is the one who laid the letter on the floor and actually committed to bringing the regulations to this house. About a week and a half ago, the Honorable Msasi was there. When the Honorable Speaker then, the presiding Speaker, the Honorable Thomas Tayewa, asked him to bring the regulations to this house, this matter was never referred to the Finance Committee. It's a constitutional matter. The Ministry of Finance should stop dilly-dallying, Right Honorable Speaker. We cannot continue talking about roads every other time when the Parliament then that came up with this Road Fund Act had a solution for the road sector. So we need to operationalize this Road Fund Act as is so that we get out of these problems of poor funding to the road sector.
And then report back tomorrow.
Madam Speaker, one point. On the regulations, what I presented to the committee yesterday, I made a commitment that we are preparing regulations. We shall take them to cabinet and then we shall lay them here.
Your chair of finance wants to say something.
Yes.
He wants to give you information.
Madam Speaker, we have a letter from the clerk referring this matter to the committee. And it's about the operationalization of the road fund. And we are processing the matter. But I think I can as well report, although it's going to be a verbal report. The bottom line, the ministry is saying that there is a problem operationalizing all other funds. And that in the circumstance, it's not going to be a special case for the road fund. And what they have told us is that they are going back to cabinet to discuss it and see what is it that they should, how they should be moving forward. I think that's the bottom line. There isn't much beyond that.
Honorable Maneno, give me a report tomorrow on what the directives that the presiding officer gave you. I need a report tomorrow on the directives that were given to your senior boss. Maneno? Members, let's be brief. We have very serious issues.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For record purpose, I'm Maneno Zumra, the woman MP of Bong District. I rise on matter of national importance concerning the insecurity in Obong District. Obong District since last year, 2021, have been facing issues of insecurity concerning robbery. The robbers are armed. Some are speaking Kuku and Arabic language. They always come and rob village savings and loans association in Itula sub-county and Palorinya sub-county. They robbed a group called Botimonye, 3 million. They robbed a group in Palorinya sub-county. 3 motorcycles were taken and 3.35,000 was picked from the group. There was also a case in Alibasa in Wapa sub-county, Alibabito Paris, where 2 people were shot and they sustained injuries. They were hospitalized in Arua Regional Hospital. The same scenario again happened in Palorinya, in Pasu refugee settlement, where a businessman was robbed
3.5 million. And this situation is alarming because these robberies are done with the guns, because the robbers come always with guns, they're armed. So, Madam Speaker, my prayers are.
Can you finish, Maneno?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My prayers are, Obong District has a team police that is based in the district. I request the minister in charge to not team, but team police numbers that are stations in the district. I request the minister in charge to allocate more manpower in Obong district. I also requested that the barracks that was established in the UPDF discharge that was established in Mureria village and Kariparis will be replaced. And then I also request the government to deploy police officers in facilities that were constructed by UNHCR in the refugee camps. Lastly, I also request the office of the Prime Minister to take into account that the citizens' money are taken and it will be something so that their money are funded back. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister of Internal Affairs. I have seen you somewhere then.
Right, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, I've heard the concerns of the Honorable Member, and I request to take it up with her on the intervention she's seeking.
Thank you. Members will only have one. If the remaining ones will be handled tomorrow. Can we have a appeal somewhere?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on the matter of national importance on the status of disbursement of the parish development funds. Last year, government allocated 17 million shillings per parish. However, some of the parishes had only part releases, while others did not have any releases. This year, 100 million has been allocated per parish to be distributed within 2 quarters, quarter 1 and quarter 3. And the rationale for quarter 1 was that it should be disbursed at the time when the rainy season is beginning. As we speak right now, the planting season has started. Funds have not yet been disbursed, and yet this is where we expected the farmers to be able to get better seeds, to improve productivity, high yields, to avoid the climate change that we are fighting about. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like, my prayer is to ask the Minister of Finance to give us a status on the disbursements of these funds. We want to avoid what has happened in Operation Wealth Creation, where materials were coming in way after the planting season has started. Thank you.
Finance.
Madam Speaker, we are making arrangements to release the parish model funds. I will come back to this house with the details.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have listened, Right Honorable Speaker, over the last couple of submissions by members that have to do with releases. Of course, for the Minister of Finance, convenience of a reply has been served. And Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to arouse the curiosity of this Honorable House to the problem in the regulations, specifically the public finance management regulations. In particular, Regulation 14.2, that speaks to the powers of the Accountant General to release funds to entities every 3 months, and at every time the PSST pleases or determines for that matter. I think this is the regulation which finance is exploiting to flimsily make funds available. Right, Honorable Speaker, I think this House must interest itself. Regulations that relate to the Public Finance Management Act, so that Parliament has an input in the releases, in the management of the budget. Because once we pass the Appropriation Act, then finance can release money the way they want. And we have a duty to ensure that the budget performs. So for Honorable Musasi, I can understand. But there is a problem. And what Honorable Speaker, is because the regulations are so lax. The PSST and the Accountant General under Regulation 14.2 are at liberty to choose when and who receives. I believe we should interest the committee, or probably the Speaker will advise, to invite the Minister and look at the practicability of these regulations, the view of making the budget perform to the expectations of Parliament and the public. Otherwise, the Appropriation Act will remain a ritual for us to simply pass here, and then finance will choose how the budget performs. I find it problematic. You can actually substantially submit. I thought I should raise this for the attention of Parliament, because there is a problem, because the Minister will always convenient to respond.
Can we get a status report on PDM on how much money has been disbursed to parishes? Because we talked of 17 million. Over the weekend, I was in the village and they said they had gotten 6. Can we get a status report? No, can we get a status report on PDM? No. I am saying, can we get a status report? It may not be today. Can we have it on Tuesday? Let's have it on Tuesday.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Semuju.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to raise a matter of privilege as I requested yesterday, and I'll be very brief. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I am presenting this matter of privilege as a whip of the FDC. Right Honorable Speaker, in the wee hours of Wednesday, to be exactly at 3 a.m., a night before the Sorot City by-election, without a court order as statutory provided for, people, some of them dressed in police uniform, broke into the home of Honorable Anna Adeke Ebaju, woman member of parliament for Sorot district. They were accompanied by one Karangwa, believed to be an NRM chairman from Kayunga. This group cut padlock and door locks using welding and other machines. They were armed to the teeth. Before entering the sitting room, they showered the whole house with tear gas and pepper spray. They crowed and arrested everybody found at the home of Honorable Adeke, including the FDC president, Engineer Patrick Amriat, who was later driven to Dokoro, and he spent 3 nights in police cells. They also stole all the FDC polling materials, such as appointment letters, voter registers, and money meant to feed and transport polling agents. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I invite this House to condemn this thuggery and criminality. The Honorable Anna Adeke, who is a member of this parliament, is also the FDC Deputy President for Eastern Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker and members, that's how we woke up to participate in the by-election, with our president behind bars and several agents together with polling materials all stolen. The FDC is a law-abiding institution. Despite what had happened to us in the hours of Wednesday, we sought to participate in the election. On the polling day itself, the FDC leaders became endangered. Honorable Sarah Isodoma MP for Ngora, a member of this parliament, was the next target. She was arrested at Arrowhead, where the FDC had deployed her, and even to Kyoga Regional Police Headquarters, where she was also detained. She was released the following day, and she is required to keep reporting to police. Honorable Joan Alobo, woman MP for to be NRM chairman for election something. The Honorable Nathan Nandala Mafavi, a member of this parliament, but also Secretary General of the FDC, has a harrowing story to tell. These vehicles were vandalized, their tires cut, with the aim of grounding him during this exercise. Right, Honorable Speaker, I am a whip of FDC. That is my job. Under the rules, I am supposed to be mobilizing members to come and attend parliament. These members now have to juggle their time between police reporting on flimsy charges. Madam Speaker, finally, and I have limited this to my job as a whip and members of parliament, I don't want to go into the incidents that happened during the elections, including a Prime Minister of Uganda bribing people in broad daylight. I am asking, Madam Speaker, for government to tell me whether it is a crime for MPs to go and canvass support for their parties and also to go and observe elections on behalf of their parties. Madam Speaker, I also seek guidance from you whether members of parliament should continue being helpless, being picked by some NRM chairman like this to happen under UPC. Suspects, and the one ordering for them to be picked is an NRM.
Thank you very much. I am aware that UPC was one of the very good party, and at that time, how can you start giving an example of UPC?
Yes, Madam Speaker, the UPC has a record of being a very good government, which started this country, and everybody's up about that, Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Is it in order for my colleague, the whip of the FDC, to begin tarnishing the name of UPC, which was not
the good name,
and the good name of UPC, which did not participate in their so-called arrest? Is it in order?
Of course, it's not in order.
Madam Speaker, I am sorry to the whip of UPC, but because in 80 I was 7 years old, I saw rebels, including Rebel Yoweri Museveni, going to Luwero to fight, and they said the reason they were fighting was because UPC rigged the elections. So if the Rebel Museveni and others lied to us,
You
I am sorry.
cannot afford to call the president of the country.
I'm talking about 1980. He was not a president. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, my prayer is for government to tell us whether it is now a crime. If you are a member of parliament and you can be arrested, including by unknown people, but accompanied by police. And also, Madam Speaker, finally, from you as our leader here, how can we get the MPs protected? Because if MPs, including one who is the area MP, if the Speaker can allow.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
I have not allowed the information. And what I want to tell you, I protect my MPs when they are in the premise of parliament. Nobody has ever been arrested when you're in parliament. So what you do outside there, if you are arrested, is not my responsibility as a speaker. Can you finish your report?
Madam Speaker, I have made the prayers, so I am done.
Honorable Semuju, all these things reported to police?
Madam Speaker, the trouble, if your house is broken in by police, where do you go to report? That's why I'm reporting it to you for help.
More information.
You know the role of police to keep law and order. One, we need to report all these things because the touch of our MPs that is not correct. We need to report it to police and find out. You will find that maybe these people were not policemen. So, Attorney General, I want you to follow up on this, find out what could have happened to the members of parliament, and if it was the police that acted that way. And if they acted that way, that was not correct. So, I need a report on that. I need a report on that, Attorney General.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry, and colleagues. The report indicates that the president of FDC was in Honorable Adeke's house at 3 a.m. We are wondering what the president.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Attorney General have given you an instruction. Attorney General have given you an instruction.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I will follow up with Honorable Semuju and follow up on this matter.
Honorable Semuju provide all the information, and then we find out what could have happened and how we can resolve this issue. We are in a multi-party system that we need to respect everybody's wish. Next item.
Procedure, Madam.
Item
Next
3.
item.
Motion for a resolution of Parliament to appreciate His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the Nation address to the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda on Tuesday, 7th June 2022.
Honorable members, as you are aware, the President's address on State of Nation was at the beginning of the session of Parliament, and it is a constitutional requirement under Article 101, Clause 1 of the Constitution. On the 7th June 2022, His Excellency the President delivered his State of Nation address to mark the official opening. As you are aware, at the address, I drew to your attention Rule 10 4D, which requires members to listen to the address by the President in silence without a comment. Of the President's address will be accorded to members in the due course. Honorable members, the time has come to debate the presidential address on the State of Nation. I further wish to guide that after the motion has been moved before the floor, I will open the floor for debate. I will also accord the leader of opposition in Parliament an opportunity to officially reply the President's address, and that is pursuant to Rule 53(1) of the Rules of Procedure. I now therefore invite Honorable Emily Kugonza to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. This is a motion for a resolution of Parliament to appreciate His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for the clear and precise exposition of government policy contained in the State of the Nation address to the Parliament of Uganda on Tuesday, 17th June 2022. The motion is moved under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. Whereas Article 101, Clause 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda requires the President to deliver to Parliament an address on the state of the nation at the beginning of each session. And whereas His Excellency the President, in compliance with the requirements of Article 101, Clause 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, delivered the State of the Nation address to this Parliament at Kololo Independence Grounds on Tuesday, 7th June 2022, and we're aware that in his address to the nation, the President highlighted the challenges that faced the nation in the last financial year, 2021-2022, including rising fuel prices and commodity prices caused by the Russian-Ukrainian war. Recognizing that His Excellency the President informed the nation that due to the correct ideology of the national resistance movement, rejecting the sectarian ideas of the past actors, insisting on patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy, the country has attained middle-income status. Further recognizing that His Excellency the President informed the nation of the implementation of the Parish Development Model, whose end result is to tap into the production capacity of agriculture by relying on 7 high-value commodities, namely coffee, fruits, dairy products, poultry, pigs, fish farming, and food growing. Cognizant that in his address, His Excellency the President called upon Ugandans to fight corruption, which is the